Hey guys, we're on to our next step in the build, and now that we have the leg assembly all assembled, the next step is to start tackling how we actually attach the legs to the top. Typically for this type of install, I would use a set of dowels and actually just dowel and glue everything together, but in this case, I don't have any dowels here inside the shop, so what I'm going to do is actually lay out some tape from corner to corner and then trace that line all the way through, and what that allows me to do is pretty much place my legs directly on top of the top and then line up each one of the corners with my intersecting lines. And then from there I can actually use my tape measure to get a proper setback from the front and from the sides to get everything perfectly centered, and then trace out my actual legs themselves, and then that leaves me with pretty much slots or spaces that I can actually pre-drill all of my holes to actually drive my screws through. But then the next step is to add some double-sided tape and then actually flip it back over and put it back into the same position. Because I traced the whole entire leg assembly out, I'm able to put it right back exactly where I had it. And then I can flip the whole entire assembly over and then drill screws from the inside of the cabinet down into the legs. And then I'll remove all the tape and everything else. And then when it actually comes to the final assembly, I'm just going to drive screws directly from the inside of the cabinet down into my leg assembly. Again, that was just my method, or how the best process I can think of to get this taken care of. But now that I have all the holes drilled, the next step is to come back with some screws. The one thing that is extremely important, since I'm using screws to actually attach everything, is that the holes that I'm actually drilling into the legs are smaller than the holes that I drilled through the actual cabinet carcass. So that way when I actually come back with my trim head screws, the screws have room to wobble pretty much inside of the opening in the actual cabinet carcass, but then they can still cinch down nice and tight on my actual leg assembly. It's the same way that you install butcher block countertops, essentially by leaving an enlarged hole. Even though it's held in tight, it still has the ability to move kind of as the wood moves. Keeps everything from cracking further on down the road. I didn't want to use glue. Dowels were an option, but again, I didn't have any. But we're going to get this all tightened up and then rinse and repeat this process for the rest of the legs. Alright, we finally have the main carcass of our end tables put together. The next step is to figure out how I want to do drawer slides. And if you guys know anything about me, whenever I get into projects like this, I like to get a little creative. So I'm making my own wooden drawer slides, but in this case, I want to take them up just a slight bit. Typically with wooden drawer slides, whenever they slide out of the actual cabinet carcass, they have a tendency to tip. So I want to actually have a support runner on the very top to keep the drawer box itself from tipping. But then I want to add several stops, and what these stops are going to do is going to stop the drawer box from falling out. Let's say I tip over the cabinet or somebody just bumps it. You don't want the drawer box itself just to fall all the way out. So to get the drawer box to come out, you have to do a slight lift, which these shims or stops, that slight lift will allow the stop to come up and over, but then they'll still be able to continue to slide. And as you continue to slide the drawer box out of the cabinet box, the last stop will catch on the main stop. We're saying a lot of stops, but essentially I'm pretty sure this image kind of dictates and shows you guys exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to be the methodology that I use to build these drawer boxes, by having several stops on my actual runner that's going to mount to my drawer box, and then having one stop on the bottom runner inside of the cabinet. Essentially that gives me a series of stops. I have to lift the drawer up and over if I want to get past each one of the stops. The first stop being at the front, it stops the drawer from just opening up, and then a stop in the back stops the drawer itself from falling out. So if somebody's pulling the drawer box out, it doesn't just fall out. That's kind of the methodology that I'm aiming for. And now I need to do all the layout and spacing to actually get everything attached. This here is actually the side panels going to be installed inside of the cabinet. Because my cabinet is shaped like a trapezoid, you need to actually square off the inside corners because you can't really attach drawer runners to an angled wall or angled surface. So these are going to be panels that I install on the inside. So right now I'm just doing the steps I need to actually lay everything out and get everything attached. But after that, we're going to get everything installed, and I'll show you guys how we do that in just a moment. I did end up tackling some of these steps off camera, and the only thing I did off cam was actually go ahead and stain the side panels and also cut them to their proper length, so that way whenever I install my drawer front, it ends up being perfectly flush with the front side of the cabinet carcass itself. And then I also edge banded this plywood that I'm using for the side panels. And how I'm going to install it, I'm going to end up taking my framing square and aligning it toward the bottom, clamping it in place, and then driving in pocket screws. And then I'm going to also take my same square. After I get the bottom all screwed in, I'm going to end up driving screws up through the top and making sure that the panel on the side is running perfectly perpendicular and straight from front to back. The next step is to end up taking my tape measure and measuring all the way over, and then making sure I get my adjacent panel nice and square and parallel to the other one. Because let's say, you know, it's 12 inches at the front and 13 at the back because the right hand panel isn't straight, your drawer box will end up, you know, binding or being really sloppy. So you want to take your time to get this installed right, and then you actually go into the next step, which is actually installing the runners inside of the cabinet box. And I'll catch up to you guys once we get to that point. Alright, and then the next steps in this process is actually installing all of my runners. And whenever I have to install wooden runners, one thing I love to do is actually use some kind of spacer. So after figuring out exactly how much space I need off the bottom to have the drawer box itself centered, I ended up just ripping a couple of 2x4s to the proper width. And all I have to do is actually use my pen nailer to nail in all the mahogany strips. And I made sure that this strip has the stop toward the front. That's really key to make sure my drawer boxes operate the way that I want them to. And then how I spaced for my second runner, I just took another scrap that I cut to the proper dimensions, which allotted for the actual runner, the 1/4-inch spacer, and the playing cards that I use. So I had to figure out pretty much, I did all that laying out in the previous video. You guys will see that in all my shorts coming up, how I actually milled and made all the runners for these drawer boxes. But here you guys get to actually see how they operate. They don't actually slide out until I lift it up and drive it forward, and then as it pulls forward, it will hang there because it pivots onto the upper support, and the last stop actually keeps it from falling all the way out. So with them attached to either side of a drawer box, when the drawer box is fully pushed in, it will fall down behind the front stop, which will keep the drawer box essentially locked or closed. And the only way to actually take it out would be to lift it up and then pull it out. And then when you actually pull the drawer box all the way out, it will the first stop will slide past the stop at the front of the runner, and then the drawer box itself, as you keep sliding it, it will stop on the back stop, which will keep the whole entire drawer box from falling out. 'Cause that's one of the worst things about wooden drawer boxes. You know, you pull your drawer out and then you don't know how far to go, then the whole thing comes out. So I wanted to try to alleviate that with this build, but also not buy any hardware. So I'm gonna let the rest of this play out as I install the other one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far, and if you guys have, please smash that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe, and check out my live streams as well. I typically am doing one probably about once a week at this point, and in each one of the live streams I try to give you guys, you know, a tour of the shop and close up and in personal updates on what I got going on. So again, if you guys have enjoyed, definitely let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and then I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.